Every year there is a group of players that are ahead of make or break season. This year is no different than that. But what makes it more interesting is that this group consists of many All-Stars or even MVP type players. If you are interested in checking who is on the list, you should sit back, relax and watch my new video. We start at number 10 with Obi Toppin. Finally, Obi Toppin will no longer be in the shadow of Julius Randle. Last year, when Randle was injured at the end of the season, Toppin had a span of 5 games in the starting lineup when he averaged 22 points and made over 3 threes at 44%. This clearly showed that there is potential in Obi Toppin, which was hidden because of lack of a belief from Tom Thibodeau. Toppin was traded to Indiana Pacers for 2 second-round picks and joins the team filled with young, talented players. He will have to fight for his minutes with Jarras Walker and Jalen Smith, but should get much more minutes than in the Knicks. He is on make-or-break season, as his rookie deal is ending next summer, and this is the moment when we will know if he's going to stay for long or will be out of the league very soon. Number 9 belongs to Bol Bol. The prototype of Victor Wembanyama was supposed to be something special, and last year with Orlando Magic he proved it. He had a great start of the season, but was waived by Magic because there are too many good players in the team already. He signed a 1-year deal with Phoenix Suns, and we should find out soon if he is going to be a very good backup for them. If not, he might soon become a similar wasted talent to the one Thon Maker was promised to have. But I have more belief in Bol Bol. He already showed how good he can be. He is a great rim protector, played 70 games showing that his health issues are past him. He just needs to get a chance. And being a backup to DeAndre Ayton might be his chance. The next one might not come. James Wiseman probably has the last chance to shine. That is why he lands on place number 8. Former Golden State Warrior spent half of the last season in Detroit, and Pistons are trying to allow him to play as much as possible. That is why he even played in the Summer League. There is no denying in his offensive skills, but his defense and all-around effort is what is missing. He reminds me a bit of Jahlil Okafor, who also was very skilled on the offensive end on the floor, but only there. He is already out of the league, and if Wiseman doesn't show everything he can do, he might be out as fast as Okafor. Another player with whom Golden State Warriors had great hopes, but so far he disappointed, is Jonathan Kuminga, our number 7. In the wildest dreams, Warriors fans, and even I, saw him as a new Andre Iguodala. He is similar size, with similar athleticism to the young Iguodala, but at first he was not getting chances, and then when he finally got them, he was not consistent. He could play 7 straight good games, like in January this year, when he averaged over 13 points per game on over 62% shooting from the field and 50% from free. But next 4 games, he dropped to 5 points per game and 40% from the floor. This type of inconsistency is something normal for a young player, but this was already his sophomore year. When the Warriors were knocked out of the playoffs, there were reports suggesting that Kuminga's agents want him to play more important role in Warriors rotation. And if not, they would demand a trade to a place where he can get regular minutes. Well, first he should try to be more productive in his minutes with Golden State. Frankly speaking, he averaged over 20 minutes per game last season. Number 6 belongs to former number 1 draft pick, DeAndre Ayton. Last year was another decent for him. He averaged a double-double, the 5th time in 5 years. But his role is going to be reduced once more. When he was coming to the league, he was supposed to be option 1B next to Devin Booker. Then Book turned out to be so great that he clearly was option 2. Then, when Kevin Durant arrived, he became option number 3, and now, after Suns acquired Bradley Beal, he becomes option number 4. Plus now there is no classic point guard like Chris Paul in the past years who could deliver ball to Ayton, so how can he perform in such situation? Good information for him is that Suns changed a coach. Monty Williams, with whom Ayton had some history, is no longer there, and he can open a new relationship with Frank Vogel. But the question stays, will Ayton be okay with being option number 4? I don't believe that. In such case, we might face another trade, this time for him. So he either is going to change his game into more defensive, or he might request a trade to a place where he can be more decisive on offense. Speaking of number 1 draft picks, number 5 on my list belongs to Ben Simmons. There may be no player in the entire association facing a more critical season than Ben Simmons. He has seen his stock fall from superstar to burnout at a rapid pace. There may not be much time left to salvage his reputation. Let's do a quick recap of his career so far. He was a first overall pick, who missed his first entire season due to a foot injury, only to come back to win Rookie of the Year the following season. He quickly developed into a star with the game of a floor general and the body of a big man. But his shooting woes came into sharper focus during the 2021 season, especially his free throw concerns during the playoffs. Some of his teammates and his coach started to turn on him, leading him to hold out and never play another game for the franchise. He was dealt to the Brooklyn Nets in the middle of the 2022 season, but has struggled with injuries and has played just 42 games there. During that time, he averaged 6.9 points, 6.3 rebounds and 6.1 assists per game, hitting a laughable 43.9% of his free throws. At this point, the Nets would likely be happy with anything Simmons can give them for the coming season, as they look to rebuild post KD and Kyrie. Whether the 27-year-old has anything left to give is to be determined. Simmons skipped the Basketball World Cup and rumors have floated that he hasn't been cleared to play yet. His frequent injury absences are reminiscent of Lonzo Ball and Brandon Roy. But of course, just like every other year, there are reports saying that he's back. We will see. A similar path to the one with DeAndre Ayton is the one for Karl Anthony Towns. When he was drafted number 1 overall, he was supposed to be a leader of Minnesota Timberwolves, but he never fulfilled that promise. He had to have Jimmy Butler next to him, and after a few years Anthony Edwards. Because of that, even if the numbers show differently, Towns is an option number 2. And now, after the Timberwolves traded for Rudy Gobert last year, his position in the team became even more questionable. I'm not questioning his skills, which are still very unique for his size of a player, but he needs to find a new role in the team. Currently, because of Gobert's presence, he needs to spend more time far from the basket. Also, he needs to start defending smaller guys on the opposite team, which is also new for him. And in the last season, he wasn't good at that. For this year, he has 2 options, in my opinion. First is adjusting to a new role and learning how to play there with Anthony Edwards as a clear Timberwolves leader. Second one is being traded. Anyway, Towns, besides his numbers, is already past dreams of becoming the best center in the league. Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid are far ahead of him, and he should start thinking of accepting this situation. The third place in my ranking can be no other than CP3, Chris Paul. He is a first ballot Hall of Fame player. How could he possibly be facing a do-or-die season at this point of his career, especially as a member of the Warriors? Fair or not, many legends are judged by how many rings they have on their finger. Paul has none, only making it to the NBA Finals once in his career. When the Warriors swung the deal for Paul, it was clear that both sides could benefit from the deal, as long as they were willing to sacrifice. Paul will likely need to come off the bench. In exchange, he can help prolong the Warriors dynasty for another year, and secure his first ring in the process. Paul is undoubtedly one of the best point guards ever to do it. He will be playing with another one of the best point guards of all time, one who changed the game the way the game is played, in Stephen Curry. It should be fun seeing those two on the same bench. But Paul's legacy is on the line this season, deservingly or not. If he can find himself in a new role and help the Warriors make another championship run, that makes all of the movement across the Western Conference in recent years worth it. If he falls short of a title again, he may become one of the greatest players without a title in the game's history. Number 2 on my list is Zion Williamson. Let's put all the jokes aside. Zion Williamson is a great player, but only when he is healthy. And in his career, he has almost never been healthy. So far, he has played only 37% of the games he could, and I'm not counting play-in and the playoffs. When Zion is on the floor, Pelicans are one of the top 4 teams in the conference. This is what we saw in the beginning of last season. But the patience for Zion is coming to an end. During draft rumors, for the first time since he joined the league, there were reports suggesting that he might be traded. He was linked with Charlotte Hornets, but in the end stayed with Pelicans. This team was finally built to the status where they should start winning, and Zion is a key to that. If he still is injured this season, I think Pelicans should finally start looking for a package to trade him away. How long can you wait? This will be his 5th NBA season. Just to compare, LeBron James in his 5th season was already past his first trip to NBA Finals and was a scoring champion. Kevin Durant was 3-time scoring champion and led Thunder to their only visit in NBA Finals. Giannis was already a regular All-Star and just step ahead of going to Conference Finals. The same for other stars. And this is the level to which Zion should try to aspire. If not, he will be a bust to me. And finally, the number 1 on the list is Luka Doncic. Last season was a huge disappointment, one that the franchise seemed to double down on during the offseason. Luka Doncic holds the keys in Dallas, and his fate could come into focus this season. When last season came to a close, the postseason-less Doncic did his best to reassure the Dallas fans, saying he was happy in the city. He then said, however, that something needed to change after the Mavs went from the Western Conference Finals to being sidelined for the postseason. The front office, which didn't seem to see the need for major changes, traded for Grant Williams and drafted Derek Lively. But they also brought back Kyrie Irving and will once again base their attack around the tandem guards. Dallas still believes fully that the Slovenian can lead them to the promised land, for the first time since another European was running the court. But if the Mavs fail again, Doncic may seek better place to win. While fans may wonder if a Doncic-led team can really carry Dallas as far as they once thought, Doncic is a superstar. He averaged over 32 points, 8 rebounds and 8 assists per game. He seems like a perfectly deserving candidate for the 5-year, $215 million extension he received not long ago. Patience doesn't tend to last long in this league though. Much like the Utah Jazz dismantled their core last offseason after years of being great, but not great enough. Dallas could be headed that way depending on how Doncic does this year. And that's my top 10 players facing make or break season. How do you rate your top 10? Let me know in the comments. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching today and I see you next time. Bye.